Fight like a title holder, stand like a champion, live like a warrior, and never let them break you down. Fight like a title holder.
Hey guys, welcome back. Again, my name is Will. If this is your first time here, this is just a channel that I'm just using to just kind of document my weight loss journey after having vertical sleeve gastrectomy and where I've gone in that journey. Big news. Big news. Big news. Are you ready for this? I have lost 100 pounds. I have hit the 100-pound mark. I'm actually, as of this morning, 102 pounds down from my highest weight. But I am in Wonderland, y'all. I am in Wonderland. I have lost 100 pounds. I know I still got a long way to go. I still got a lot of hard work ahead of me, but I hit the big 100. So I'm super excited about that. Right now I'm at 133 days. I had to look at that. 133 days post-op, down 102 pounds from my highest weight. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty psyched right now. I'm pretty stoked, psyched. I'm stoked. That's the combination of those two words. But yeah, so definitely some big news since my last video. I'm also off all my blood pressure medicine, which I don't think I talked about in my last video at all, because I think that was before my last follow-up with my doctor. But off all my blood pressure medicine, which was huge in itself, and I hit the 100-pound mark. So I have got a lot of blessings. I'm excited about where I am right now, and I'm even more excited about where I'm going to go from here. Don't mind all the cars driving past me in the background. By the way, I'm having to record this at work, so I can have a little bit more time to try and make this video than to driving to another location on my lunch break. But anyway, side note. So let's talk about updates since my last video. Just kind of a quick update on clothing size changes. I'm still in a 2X, but I'm in a comfortable 2X, and I'm transitioning into an extra large t-shirt. There are a couple of extra larges that I can wear when they're on the bigger side of an extra large, but all 2Xs I can wear. Waist wise, I'm in a 42, which started as me just buying a pair of shorts that were a size 42, thinking I'll eventually get to fit those. And then when I brought them home that same day, they already were fitting. I didn't realize I was in a 42 because I was wearing sizes larger than that. So I'm in a 42. I haven't tried a 40 yet, but I bought a pair of pants in a size 40 yesterday. So I haven't tried them on yet. I don't think they're going to fit because the 42s that I also bought at the same time were, they fit me. So maybe soon. Anyway, not to try and dwell on clothing sizes too much, but that's kind of where I'm at. Notice I only talk about t-shirt sizes because I only really wear t-shirts. That includes to work and everything else. I'm fortunate enough that I get to wear t-shirts most of the time. There has been one instance since surgery and since weight loss where I needed to wear a button-up shirt, and ultimately I just ended up wearing one of the button-up shirts that I had when I was larger, that I still had in the closet from when I was larger, and it was a shirt that was obviously too big on me, but it was for just a one-day kind of thing. And the problem with me, the problem that's always been my case, even when I was larger, is that most of my weight is in my stomach. So when I try and get a button-up shirt, the shirt is either fits me in the stomach and is way too loose in the neck, or fits in the neck and doesn't fit in the stomach. So it's difficult when you're going to wear a tie to try and find something that's a comfortable medium between being just big enough in the stomach but not huge in the neck, so you can wear a tie and it doesn't look weird. That was the problem I ran into even now, having lost a bunch of weight and being smaller than I was. My neck size got even smaller, but my stomach was still saying, nope, we can't wear those size shirts. So it was a big hit to the ego at a time where I was feeling really good about my weight loss. So that will still happen. Even though you're losing a bunch of weight, your body shape is still not quite there yet, or at least mine hasn't been there yet to where I can wear a dress shirt and be okay without having to buy like a custom tailored shirt or something like that. But I'm getting there, and that's okay. Thankfully, like I said, I don't have to wear a lot of button-up shirts. That was just a one-time occurrence, and anything else, I can pretty much wear t-shirts, and then if I need to dress it up a little, I can wear a polo shirt. Polo shirts are fine too, because they just fit like t-shirts. So button-up shirts, that's still a problem for me right now, but that's okay. And that's where that is. As far as clothing goes, I did end up having to ditch my wedding ring, and it's put away in a safe place for now. It was too big for me, and it fell off constantly. I didn't want to obviously lose it. I did try a spacer. The spacer worked in keeping it on my finger, but it was uncomfortable and scratched my face a lot. If I like rubbed my face or anything like that, or did like something like that, then it would scratch my face. So my wife ended up getting me this ring, which is a temporary ring that I'll be wearing for that time. Amazingly, she just guessed on a ring size, and it fits me perfectly from when I put it on, and it fits great now. So it's just a simple black titanium ring that she bought. So that's what I'm wearing now until I get to the point where I'm mostly maintaining and not trying to lose weight as much as I am now. And then I'll get my wedding ring resized then, and then I'll just go back to wearing my wedding ring. But this is a great ring to have in the meantime, and she also put a little inscription on the inside for Ecclesiastes 4:9, 4:10, which is, if you're not familiar with the Bible, I'm not going to sit there and read the Bible verse right now, but it's essentially just, talks about how you're stronger as a unit, and so the two of us are together because we're each other's support system. We're stronger together than we are individually, is essentially the point of that. And so that's a good little motivation to have on my ring as well, because my wife is an incredibly supportive wife, and all things that I've done through our time together. So just it's a nice little reminder that I have that support system there for me. Give me 1 second here. It's hot. Florida, summer, August, the worst of the summertime. It's hot. And I'm in my car trying to shoot this video, and I'm starting to sweat. I don't like sweating. So let's just get that air going. Alright. Get down here so we're not trying to fight that. What else? Sort of non-scale victories. I'm not definitely more active than I used to be. And part of it is because it's easier to be more active, carrying less weight, but also because I'm more motivated to, because I want to be more active to get healthier. So I'm doing a lot more activity. But one of the great things that we got a bike seat that goes on my bike. It's an attachment that sits on my bike for our daughter, that sits in front of me between the steering wheel and me, so she can sit in front and not be staring at my back while riding the bike. And old me, no way I would have pulled it off. I would not have been able to ride with her in front of me, because I would have had too much stomach. I wouldn't have been comfortable. And we put that on there. She fits perfectly. She loves it. I love it. I love riding around with her on the bike with me. That is an amazing experience. I definitely, that's cloud 9 material right there. Like, I love having those kinds of experiences with my daughter, and to be able to be small enough now to be able to do something like that, pretty amazing stuff. What else? getting to the point now where I'm trying to push myself a little bit more. So I've already, even when I was at my biggest, I am familiar with doing 5Ks. I may not have been great with them, but I've done them. So I've already done 5Ks. So that's not necessarily a goal in itself for me. But now I've pushing to try and do a little bit more and to try and be better at the 5Ks, obviously. But I signed up for a couple of 5Ks, but the big one that I'm incredibly nervous about, but it's been one of those ones that's always been a goal of mine, to be able to get to the point where I feel like I could do one of those. I don't know that I'm 100% sure I feel like I could do this one, but I'm going to push myself. My wife told me about it, and I'm going to go for it. But anyway, it's the Tough Mudder race. For those of you not familiar with this particular one is a 5K. They do a marathon and half marathon as well, but this is a 5K Tough Mud race. It's going to have 10 obstacles and a whole lot of mud, and I'm going to go for it. So that is in roughly 2 months from now. What are we in? We're in August, September. Yeah, so about 2 months. About 2 months from now. So I got a little bit more time to prep. But like I said, I am more active now. I'm working out. I'm boxing like I said I was going to be. I'm not always consistent with that, and that's mostly based on how much sleep I can get. But I'm trying to get better at that. Regardless, I'm trying to work that, even if I don't have a good night's sleep, to still do it so I can get in the activity. But I'm doing that, and I'm definitely more active in general throughout the day. I, for the most part, have stopped taking elevators unless I don't think about it, because it's that. Not taking elevators is a new routine. So sometimes I just don't think about I need to be taking the stairs, but I mostly do take the stairs almost every time, and that includes at work, which I work on the 3rd floor of the building that I work in. So taking stairs up and down every time that I need to is definitely a good thing. I live in a 2-story home too, so using those stairs, I was already using them, but I've definitely already noticed a difference in going up and down the stairs in my own home, so that's a good thing. So like I said, I'm just trying to be more active, that kind of stuff. What else? And if you notice me looking over here, it's because I have notes, because I don't remember everything when I'm trying to talk, so I have to write stuff down to make sure I don't forget about it. Diet. So it's different starting today, because this week I'm doing just a liquid diet to just kind of reignite the weight loss a little bit. I was on a stall for a very long time. Even though I hit 102 pounds, it took me a really long time at the very end here to lose those last few pounds, because I was hitting a stall hardcore. And it could also be because aside from the fact that weight loss slows down this far out after surgery, that's a normal thing. When you start having more activity, that also kind of stokes the stall, so to speak. So it could be part of that too. But anyway, my wife is doing it with me today. But this week we're doing a liquid diet only. So just basically if I was fresh out of surgery, doing a liquid diet for the week, just to kind of help start igniting that fat burning process and the weight loss process. So we'll see how that goes. But up until now, my diet has been pretty close to what I said I was going to try and do, following the Dr. V diet. I do my smoothies in the morning, green smoothie in the morning, and lunch is a salad, dinner, protein forward dinner, and no snacking. So that was the goal. What I've ultimately found out is, I get really tired of salads. I like salads, and I realize there's a lot of variety to salads, but it gets to a point where I just don't want to eat a salad, and it doesn't matter what kind of salad it is. So, I do eat a lot of salads at lunch, and but I get tired of them not necessarily easily, but when I get tired of them, I get really tired of salads. So then I need a break from salads for a little while. When I do, and when I'm not wanting a salad, is I'll bring a couple of containers of snack-like items in like little 4-ounce containers, and then I eat those around lunchtime. So that when I do something like that, it's usually nuts, some kind of cheese, or like moon cheese or wisps, or even just cheese, regular cheese, and maybe something else, just kind of snack, like a protein bar, maybe something like that, and then that would be my lunch. So it's not a salad, but it's still not an awful lunch to have. But because I'm not getting in as much greens at lunch, then I try to have more of a vegetable, plant-based dinner. So I'm not by any means vegetarian, but I have been a vegetarian for many years. I've been vegan as well, so I understand all those things. I admit right now that I do like meat, so I do eat that, but I have no problem eating plant-based foods. So when I'm not meeting my vegetable intake throughout the day, then I'll try and do that at night. And it's also beneficial, for my daughter too, who doesn't like vegetables, and I'll make dinners that try and sneak vegetables in that are good for us, and she will eat them, and she will be eating vegetables. So so there's kind of another benefit to that as well when I do that for dinners. But I try to eat a lot of vegetarian type meals at dinner if I'm not eating salads during the day. And for the most part, that's going great. Snacking is pretty much under control. Every once in a while, I hit a hard day where I need something to snack on, and then maybe I'll have like a spoon of peanut butter. But for the most part, my snacking is under control, with exception of sugar-free popsicles. Sugar-free popsicles. We all go through that a lot. When I say we all, like me, my wife, my daughter, we all love those popsicles. So we eat a lot of those. We go through popsicles like crazy. But those sugar-free popsicles, they're not going to kill you. Not the end of the world. It's not a lot of calories that we're taking in. So if you're going to snack on something, and that something can be a sugar-free popsicle, there's absolutely no crime in that at all. So that's where we're at with there. What else? So a couple of things that I want to talk about that are not necessarily the highlights. So there are definitely low times when you're going through this journey. It's not all rainbows and puppy dogs. Like, it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of pitfalls and a lot of obstacles. And there's going to be a lot of low moments, a lot of mental stuff that you need to get past. And so I wanted to talk about some of that stuff. So I'm going to probably talk about this more in a different video, but one of the biggest things that I've found for me is that the medical community here in the States so far, in my experience, has not been very receptive to the fact that I had bariatric surgery in Mexico, which is sad. So I've gotten a lot of resistance from both my primary doctor and from specialists that I've seen. A lot of pushback, a lot of resistance, and a lot of resentment towards just the simple fact that the surgeon that I happen to use, the surgeon that gave me a second lease on life, that helped me, happens to be in Mexico. So I don't know, it's just like a stereotype about the medical community in Mexico or what. I mean, I realize that there are some doctors in Mexico that aren't great, that maybe are not really doctors or something like that. But I mean, there's also doctors in the States that aren't great. I feel like I'm just gonna briefly say that I'm gonna have a different video that's gonna cover this way more in depth, because I could talk about this for hours. But I kind of feel like here, and this is in a lot of different cases, not just in this particular case, but I think that the medical community here is driven more by money than it is by compassion for their patients, and that's just been my observation so far. But anyway, so if you're going to have this surgery, or you have had this surgery just recently in Mexico, you might hit some resistance when you're seeing your regular doctor or your specialists for follow-up here in the States. You might get that same reaction. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. I'm hoping that I can eventually find a doctor that's going to be a lot more receptive to the fact of what I've gone through, because ultimately we all should be concerned about where I am now and where I'm going forward. It doesn't matter where I got the surgery done. Like, that shouldn't matter. It's the fact that I got the surgery. That's what we should be thinking about, not who did the surgery. But anyway, so there's that. I've pretty much gotten to the point where I can consume most of the things that I was able to. Not that I am, but like my stomach is okay. Initially, I couldn't drink coffee. When I tried just a regular cup of coffee, and that did not go well with my stomach. What does work though is when I have a little bit of coffee. And so what I started doing, which is big in the weight loss community, is proffies, which are protein shake coffees, or premier shake coffees. So that's basically, you just take, like for instance, most people go to Starbucks. So if you go to Starbucks, you get 2 shots of espresso over ice in a venti cup. Then you add a premier protein shake to that, and then that's your drink. So you're getting a little bit of coffee, a lot of protein, and my stomach does well with that. I don't always go to Starbucks. Actually, I don't go to Starbucks very often at all now. When I first started it, just to try it out, I did that just to kind of get an idea of what was happening. What I do more now, if I'm going to do that, is I just make a small coffee at work. We have Keurig machines, so I'll do a 4-ounce setting on the Keurig over ice with the Premier Protein Shake, which is actually what I'm drinking right now in this cup. But excuse me. That's what I will do if I'm going to have coffee. I try not to do that very often, just because I do my green smoothies more often. I really do those more if I'm running late and I don't have time to get in my green smoothie. If I run out of time in the morning, then I'll just grab a Premier Protein. Then when I get to work, I'll make a Profi. But I'm having it today because, like I said, I'm doing all liquid, so this is essentially replacing my lunch. I already had my green smoothie this morning, and then I'll probably have another smoothie for dinner. But so there's that. Beer. I've been a huge beer drinker my whole life. I haven't had a beer since before surgery, but a couple of days ago I did try a beer. The biggest thing about beer is really the carbonation. That's why we can't have soda and stuff like that. I know that some of the people that have had surgery a lot longer than I have are comfortable with it, but the truth is the beers that I typically like are the heavier, darker beers that aren't as carbonated as most. So I tried a beer. It was a pretty dark porter. Poured it into a glass to let even more any carbonation that was in there to try and let it out. Not drinking it from a can. And I did try it, a couple of sips, and it did not sit well with my stomach, so I didn't drink it. So that's the most that I've had as far as beer goes since before surgery, is 2 sips of a beer, and it didn't sit well. So no beer so far. I'm optimistic though that I will be able to drink a beer eventually. Not that I'm like, I'm at the point right now where it's not the end of the world if I don't. I just would like to enjoy an occasional beer if I could. So, I'm not in this to obviously get back to drinking and eating all the things that I used to before surgery, because that's what got me to where I am. I do still would like to enjoy something occasionally. But speaking of that too, so eating is I'm still trying to wrap my head around. I still got a fat guy brain that still has to process the fact that I can't eat what I think I can. So I'm still, I go into this thinking, okay, I know I'm going to have a smaller portion, but I still haven't wrapped my brain around usually how much a small portion really should be for me. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody. There's kind of a basic rule of thumb on what you should be able to eat. But the bigger problem for me is my brain wants to keep eating when my body can't. And it's not to say that I do that to push myself. It's just that I run into that kind of problem in thinking and trying to talk myself down from, you can't do this. Stop thinking about it, because this is it. It's over. Case in point, if I'm out with a group of friends, or even if they're here, they're at our house or something like that. If I'm with a group and everybody's eating, and I can't eat anymore, but I'm still socializing. Everybody else is eating, so there's that part of my brain was like, I want to be eating with everybody else. Like, that's part of socializing, but it doesn't work that way. I take a few bites of something and then I get full. I can feel it full, which is a completely different sensation than being full pre-surgery. But yeah, and also your nose starts running, which is a pretty normal thing. Like, you get a case of the sniffles when you're full. It's your body's way of telling you to stop eating. But I'll get that, but then my brain's still like, yeah, just have a little bit more, just pick a little bit more. And talking myself down from that is difficult. I run into that a lot. Again, socializing, or even if I'm not with a group of friends, but I'm just really enjoying a meal, and there's more on the plate than I can eat, and I really, really, really enjoy what I'm eating. Like, it's hard for me to just, okay, I'm done, and be happy with it. I stop eating because I recognize that I'm full, but I get a little sad about it because, I still want to eat. Even if it's like 2 more bites, like, I really want to, but I can't. So I've gotten to the point where I can recognize when I'm full and I know I need to stop. It's being more accepting of the fact that I need to stop, and I guess that's my struggle. I'm not struggling with stopping myself. I'm struggling with accepting the fact that I need to stop. And so that's part of the mental game that I'm playing right now, is telling my brain, like, I know you're enjoying this, but you're enjoying where you're going more than that bite. There's no amount of happiness that you're going to get from another bite that's going to make you feel better than the results you're getting from not eating that extra bite. So that's exactly where I need to make my brain go. And I realize all this stuff, but in those situations, it's not always easy to think that way. Another thing that I'm trying to get kind of wrapped around is what makes me sick. Like, there are certainly things that don't sit well with my stomach, like the beer, but there are other things too. So there's a chicken salad place near our house, and that sounds weird saying that, but it's a restaurant that serves a lot of different varieties of chicken salad, which are all great, and that works really good. Chicken salad is awesome, and so we go there, and I can eat that. I can't eat a lot of it because I get full, but one of the things that they serve when you get the meals there is they give you a little sugar cookie that's probably about that big. It's just a little sugar cookie with icing on it, and they'll give you that. The first time we went, I was like, I'm gonna try that. It's not a whole lot. I won't eat the whole thing. I just want to try a bite just to get a taste of it and see what it's like. I ate maybe half of that cookie, and it was the worst feeling ever. Like, I felt so sick, like incredibly sick. Like, I was just gonna nonstop throw up. That was a very horrible feeling. I needed to lay down. Like, I was like, just, I felt awful. Definitely have never tried the cookie again because I don't want to feel like that. But then, also, since surgery and my wife's birthday, we had chocolate cake for her birthday. I had half, like a small sliver, and then I ate like the bottom half of a sliver of cake, like just to kind of test the waters. Perfectly fine. Didn't hit me at all. And I feel like it's in how sweet something is, maybe, is what hits me, because chocolate cake, as good as it was, as rich it wasn't overly sweet, but that cookie was super sweet. So that may be it, but I really don't know, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But that's definitely something that I'm like, oh, that does not feel good. But, at the same point, the beer didn't sit well. It was a very different feeling. Great. So there's that. It was a very different feeling, but my stomach didn't like that either. And obviously, there's nothing sweet about beer. There are sweeter beers, but there's no way that you can drink a beer and say that it's just as sweet as a cookie or a cake. So, so there's a difference there. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know that I ever will be able to figure it out. It's probably just going to be trial and error and trying things and seeing what my body's going to reject. So there's that. Other weird things are just, I still have a lot of fat in the stomach. That's going to always be my bigger problem area. But a lot of other areas have gotten really skinny and thinned out really well, and they're just super bony. Like, I keep rubbing my shoulder now because that's what I first think of, is that my shoulders are super bony in the back and stuff. So when I just itch my shoulder and stuff, I just feel like I'm scratching a bone, and I've never had that sensation before. It's weird. I have never been like super heavy up top. Like, you've been able to see some of my collarbone. You can see a lot more of my collarbone than you used to be able to. But it's a lot more bonier, and so it's just, that's weird. More of an issue is my knees. So my knees, my God, they are bony. They're so, like, I look at my knee when I cross my legs, which is another thing. I can cross my legs very differently now, comfortably. But my knees just look huge when I cross my legs, and it's very evident when I'm sleeping, because I'm a side sleeper, and feeling my knees resting against each other, these knobby knees, that's so uncomfortable. It's not comfortable at all. I tried the cushion between the legs. My wife has one of those, and I tried that. Did not like it. Not comfortable at all. So I've basically just had to think of, my body's kind of adapted to a different way of sleeping now, a different position where my legs are staggered, and it worked last night for sure, because I was passed out hard last night. But it's just a lot of what happens after surgery is developing new routines, and that's going to be one of them. It's just the new sleeping routine. So I'm learning to adapt to that. But like I said, my thighs are skinnier too. So when I cross my legs very differently now than I used to, and it's comfortable. It's crazy. It's little things like that just surprise me constantly. But what else? I'm definitely starting to see the loose skin thing. I was kind of curious on how that would all play out. I made up my mind a long time ago that I'm not gonna have surgery unless there's a medical necessity for it. I'm not interested in doing it if it's strictly cosmetic. I can live with loose skin, and at least that's the mindset that I'm still in, is that I can live with that. I'll continue to look at it as a badge of honor. Like I said, as long as it doesn't become medically necessary for me to remove the excess skin, I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm definitely starting to see that. But one of the things that I don't know if I'm going to have to figure out a new way of doing this or not, but being a big guy my whole life, I've worn my pants under my waistband on my pants has always been under my stomach. And now I'm starting to wonder if I need to wear my pants differently, like if my excess skin if I should wear my pants higher to like my belly button or something like that, and so I'd have my excess skin would be tucked into my pants. I don't know how to wear pants, so I'm still wearing them like I've always worn them, and so far that's going okay. But the more I lose, the saggier my stomach skin is going to be. So I guess I need to figure out how I'm going to deal with that. I'm not wearing compression shirts or anything like that now. I have thought about it, but I'm not really at the point where I feel like I need to wear them. So that might change eventually, but I don't know. So I'm trying to have to think. At least I'm getting into that thinking of how am I going to wear my pants the more I lose weight. I really don't know. So, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, by all means, let me know. And hopefully I'll figure it out at some point. But that's kind of one of those things. And then one of the bigger things I kind of want to talk about that there's not really an easy segue to this, but so this journey is amazing. It's a huge blessing. You could tell how excited I am about where I'm at. It's really this decision that I've made in my life, and the weight loss that I've hit so far has made such a huge impact already in my life, in my family's life. It's really given me a lot. It's like I said, it's not an easy process. There's a lot of hurdles to this, and a lot of relearning, a lot of new routines, a lot of pitfalls. That's all normal, but I'm incredibly blessed and happy about the decision I made. I don't regret any part of it. And there's gonna be those, man, you're gonna feel great. You're gonna feel cloud 9 constantly, like, man, look at these huge numbers. I am just doing great. I'm killing it. I'm doing so well. Clothes are fitting so much better now. Like, I had to basically get rid of my entire wardrobe and buy all new clothes because nothing fit me anymore, and not in a bad way, in a good way. Like, these are all good problems to have. I mean, it's an expensive problem to have to buy all new clothes constantly, but hey, I'd rather it be that I have to buy new clothes because I'm shrinking out of them than I'm growing out of them. And those are good things. But there's still going to be those people that'll knock you down, and maybe they don't mean to, or something like that, but you're going to still have people that think that, oh, it's just a cop-out, you did the easy thing, you're not really working that hard. And one of the things that really hit me hard was not even one of those kind of negative comments. It was a question that knocked me hard. I was feeling so great. And then a simple question of, shouldn't you have lost more at this point? I would think that compared to other people, which is always a bad thing, never compare yourself to anybody else's weight loss. Everybody's different. But for them to say, compared to other people, I feel like you should have lost more than you have right now. We totally took out of that entire conversation what I have achieved so far, and made it as that what I did so far wasn't enough. And man, is that simple question that deflated me so hard. Like, it really took the wind out of my sails. I was pretty beat up about that question, and it wasn't even a question that was asked to me directly, but when I heard that question, I just stuff like that. Be prepared for that stuff. You know, you have to really get in this game with a thick skin. Be prepared that there's going to be a lot of people out there that are not going to agree with your decision, or not fully understand it, and they're just not going to be there. You're going to have people there that are not going to be your cheerleaders. So be prepared for that. I know I tried to be for the most part, and for the most part, I can take negative criticism, but it wasn't even, really, realistically, I guess, I don't know, that was not something I would expect. It wasn't really a criticism. It was just like, it was played out like a regular question, like, I'm just simply asking you a question, and that question just crippled me, man. It was rough, but chin up. I just know I'm doing progress. I know that what I'm doing is the best that my body can do. I don't compare myself to others. I certainly look to others that have achieved more than I have because I want to be successful, so I look and see and get ideas and pull from what I think would work for me, but I don't compare myself to anybody. I am my own person. I always have been. I always will be. And that includes the weight loss journey. That's not just my thinking or my behavior or my personality. Weight loss is an individual game. You can do everything that everybody else is doing, but the results are going to be for you and you only. So how your body reacts to the results is how your body reacts to the results. It has nothing to do with anybody else's weight loss journey. So you get in that mindset, you're gold. But be prepared. you know, there's always going to be those comments, remarks, and questions that'll throw you for a loop. But if you're ready for them, roll with the punches, you're good to go. And I think that's it. I'm just looking over my notes one more time, make sure I didn't forget anything, other than the fact that I lost 100 pounds, 102 pounds. And I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great about that. Man, do I feel great. I will keep you updated on anything else that comes up. Hopefully I will do these videos a little bit more frequently. I'm trying to get back into that. I apologize for the long delays, but yeah, they happen, and that is life. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please hit me up with the comments below this video. You don't have to have it there. If you want to direct message me, you don't feel like being in a public arena, by all means direct message me. I am happy to answer any questions you have. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Bearded and Sleeved on Instagram. I'm very active there. You can message me there, follow me there, do whatever you want. I am available. But if you have questions or you have concerns or anything, you want to talk about anything that I haven't talked about or not talked about enough, by all means, I'm an open book. I'm here because, you know, I'm here to share. I feel like before I got into this game, there wasn't a lot of videos that answered the questions that I had. And so I'm trying to be as open as I possibly can for anybody else that was in the position that I was before I started this journey. So by all means, if you have questions, let me know. I'm here for you. Again, I'm at Bearded and Sleeved on Instagram. And I'm available. Other than that, I hope everything is great in your life, and I will talk to you later. Bye.